Is that a pill sitting on Donald Trump's podium during his speech at the United Nations? The White House immediately began spreading the lie that this is the cap off a bottle of Tylenol. Folks, that would be an oval-shaped cap, which in the physical universe we occupy does not happen. I'm a home health physical therapist with a doctorate in my field and 14 years experience treating geriatric patients just like the president. Now that little guy right there, what is that? People that can enhance this photo can see that there's a number 20 inscribed on this thing. And judging by the surroundings, it looks to be about 13 millimeters long. Well, friends, that would be tadalafil, which is normally called Viagra. And lots of people know the typical use for tadalafil or Viagra, but Trump is not taking it for that. He's taking it for pulmonary hypertension, which is a downstream result of having congestive heart failure, which is why his legs swell like they do, and also chronic kidney disease. Don't forget he recently had the blue pill version right in front of everybody at the US Open. Folks, we're dealing with a guy who has heart and kidney issues, but it can be hidden well because he's the president. He has access to the best health care on the planet, and I'm pretty sure he still gets IV diuretics to take the pressure off of his heart and kidneys, and the IV site is on his hand, which is why it bruises and why they cover it with makeup. Now, the reason I keep reporting on this is because the White House will continually lie about his actual health condition because that's what they do. They lie about everything. They lie about jobs numbers. They lie about immigrants. They lie about inflation. And they're going to lie about the president's fitness to serve. And before any of you smooth-brained MAGAs come in the comments, Joe Biden was also unfit to serve, okay? The fact that we're having these conversations over and over across multiple administrations and concerning multiple congressmen tells you that we need age limits for people who can serve an elected office in this country. Donald Trump's pretty sick. As I've said before, he's got 6 to 8 months at the most. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
FBI had a file on a 20-year-old that was over 4,000 pages long. His name was Fred Hampton, and J. Edgar Hoover called the Black Panthers the greatest threat to the internal security of the country at the time. Hoover identified Hampton specifically as a future messiah who could unify and electrify the oppressed people of this country. They had informants in his inner circle. They were watching him every day, and Fred Hampton knew it. So what did he do? He doubled down. What terrified the FBI the most was not the guns or his speeches. It was a meeting that should never have been possible. Chicago, 1969. Black Panthers in their black berets and leather jackets, sitting across from poor white Southerners, the Young Patriots they were called, and they had Confederate flag patches. And in between them, the Puerto Rican Young Lords. America was literally burning over race at the time, and Fred Hampton was building what was called the Rainbow Coalition, bringing together people of all oppressed colors. Hampton had this amazing ability to get people to see past what they'd been taught to hate. Basically, he could unpropagandize them. He told the white kids from Appalachia, we're going to fight racism, not with more racism, but instead with solidarity. He negotiated truces between Chicago's most violent street gangs and got them working together on community programs that benefited the city as a whole. While the FBI was building their case against Hampton, Hampton was building the free breakfast program and feeding thousands of hungry children every morning before school because the schools wouldn't do it themselves. The government eventually copied it because it worked so well. Practical solutions that help everybody are dismissed as radical until they prove undeniable. And the creator of that was 20 years old. Hampton was excellent at showing other poor, oppressed people that their enemies were not each other. They were on the same level. Their enemies were way up there. Sounds familiar? It should. Well, guess what they did next? On December 4th, 1969 at 4:45 a.m., Chicago police coordinated with the FBI and shot over 99 gunshots into Hampton's apartment with his pregnant girlfriend inside of it as well. He'd been drugged by an FBI informant and died that night. Fred Hampton was 21 years old when he was murdered by the FBI. And the Rainbow Coalition died with him that night. Not because the idea was wrong, but because the idea took so much bravery to stand in a room with people who hated you and say, I am not your enemy. You are not my enemy. The enemy is this person up here who is telling us that we are each other's enemies. Does that sound familiar to you too? 56 years later, we are still dealing with the same bullshit coming from up top, telling us to hate one another because you look different, because you act different, because you like to sleep with different people. But more of us are becoming wise to these lies that are spread every day on our phones, on our TVs. In our culture, it is inescapable. But the propaganda is starting to fail. And a new crop of politicians that would make Fred Hampton proud are lining up to run for something. Rest in peace, Fred.